Wisdom, thank you for coming on board. We are watching. Thank you. Abu Wisdom. I love the name. Ladies and gentlemen, mo bibi akwaba mi awezolo oba ke akwaba indina milo. Yes, we are in the month of Ramadan. We are fasting. We are keeping ourselves holy. So to all our Muslim brothers and sisters, uncles and mothers and aunties, we wish you all the best. We pray that all your prayers will come true and that Ghana, after the end of the year, the fast, Ghana shall become great and mighty and powerful. Greetings to Wadinasa. Thank you. Yes, you know the name already, Papa Ghana. When I am here, I speak truth to you. No fear, no apology. And Intina, I don't hide behind any mask. This is my real face. What you say? A man is what? Fearful and ugly. But thank God he gave me some handsomeness. And yes, hey, I mean, blow me horn. Yes, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic is some conversation. You know, I've told you that this year is a year of solution, where we find solutions to solve the problems facing our dear nation, Ghana. And me say what in so the cocoa issues, the problems are Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo and his team of PhD holders couldn't solve. When we said there's a lot of issues facing Ghana. Today, I want you also to contribute to this conversation because very, very important conversation. Santi, how are you? Hello. Hello, hello. Yes, 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 yes. Menti, Pepe. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, keep sharing, keep sharing. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so. It is Dr. Ren TV. If you subscribe, you will not pay a dime. What you see? And then also click on the notification button so that anytime I am here, we can all, have a conversation and see how best we can all jaw. Now, before I ever call a year mention topic, Nasino, the topic is very simple. Why is Ghana still poor despite a year gold, cocoa, and oil? Why is Ghana still poor despite all these natural resources I have? Can we, learn something from a year countries like China, countries like Rwanda, South Korea, Malaysia? This is the conversation I want us to, get on board, and just, share and, talk about. Because many a times, we keep talking about the problems. A typical example is the cocoa problem. The cocoa crisis is a typical example. Now, the cocoa crisis, and starting it, I will always say, Ghana's problem is because we have lazy leaders, lazy ministers, lazy deputy ministers, lazy CEOs, lazy ambassadors. That is the problem of the nation, Ghana. Our problem is that your leaders are very, very lazy. You see, the only leader makes me say, Obaya who say, Obaya Jumano, na odi ye yina Ghana no or carry along Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Yes, I am not saying those who came after Kwame Nkrumah but it's their performance the best. It's their performance that you and I is their performance, your performance be a sebio. Wo and our company Ghana, ube high almost still some people should lead the nation Ghana. And I think for many years, we Ghanaians, we have not been fair to ourselves. We've not been fair to ourselves in a sense, say, we keep, glorifying mediocrity. We keep praising people. They give us not any form of best form of services. They don't give us the best form of a friend say when it comes to a friend say governance, when it comes to results. Many a times, no, the results that we get from our politicians since the days of Kwame Nkrumah free, so no, results it does not challenge us. It does not put us on a platform where we can say our competitors are the Chinese people, our competitors are the Americans, the British people. Now, and Saname Devil deeper into the conversation. I like to, let us warm ourselves up with this fantastic local song, and then greetings to Dr. Dr. Bernard Ewa Hase, Sanson Ora Fred, and so I say Emmanuel Yabua, and so I say Facebook. And so Nyaba, you can also, let me know where you are watching me from so that I can also acknowledge your presence on my page. We've been doing this. I've been doing this about how many with you guys? Almost 9 years. 9 years. It has not been easy. Back to back. Still standing. Consistency, they say break a year resistance. We are still here. We are not leaving. This is a national call. What I say? National service. We're volunteering. When you say what do me abra, because we assuming you some between our kebia. When what do me abra. What I say? And if we love Ghana and we want to see Ghana flourish and prosper, we must talk about it. What I say, so that one day when we are dead and gone, those who come after will say there came men like us, there came women who who spoke up so that Ghana will be fixed. Now yenti ne yamba be say yam come on say. Hey, come back again, come on, baby. Let's go. The politicians are killing us. Politicians are killing us. Look at Mahama. As you are coming, come and build Ghana for us. Lumo Mahama, old man Mahama, come and build our nation. If you cannot, then we have to go back. Then go and wear the uniform so that we can all have happiness, so that we all have a better life. Yes, the songwriter says our great grandfather Kwame Nkrumah is crying. Our mentor, our leader Rawlings is also crying. Our problems are being, toyed with because of these wicked politicians, and that Mahama, as you are coming, come and develop the nation Ghana for us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me delve deeper into the conversation. The headline news, cocoa farmers and other things. Really, I have always said to NDC people, That you see, when it comes to Ghana's problem, yeah, majority of times the people who create the problems for us, are the people who shout the loudest when they are not in power. And I've told you that beware and be careful of MPP. MPP are Nana Addo Dankwa Ekufu, eye JB Dankwa Ofori Atta Buzia Dombo for Kahono. Sa eye organization, association, political party no. Be wary of them. In fact, uti womu dinwa make sure say ubetwon ho free womu. Because you see, history actually said for many years, the MPP organization from the days of UP, Women Society, they are a bunch of pretenders. There are people who will shout and tell you that give us the nation, and once you give us the nation, we will make sure so we'll fix the country. But the moment you give them the country, then it becomes all talk every day. They can't fix the problem. They will not be able to fix the problem. Cocoa issue, cocoa crisis. MPP had 8 years to make everything better. But Omuja a kapuduo. Now you see, the conversation is say, oh, that's a cocoa nidie. Cocoa board nidie obi aba obejaka. Iti NDC mrebi omu bejaka. Iti sananado nsu ba no nsu bejaka. Enye dede. Now the question is say, so ojaka no a, why nebe bear the cost of a cano? Why mu nebe chia a cano? This is what a year NPP for enwene ho. Now I place a year friend is saying emphasis on MPP because when we were all growing up, we were made to believe say MPP is a political party made of Omako Suku, Oma Beni Womunimude. And the Amiyahunu say NDC for the Omuya, a friend is saying, a veranda boys for Omuya Kobol of 4. An intermediate come expect say. May be papa ma my Ghana the anka meka say you go school no e from ya akrachefo ni mum ananya sa. But how come say akrachefo ni mum ba ye ho kire ye dodo na wo mo eso mo ya kobolofo ni mum ho ba omo ba ye ho toye. It is only in Ghana and NDC fo mum timi bua ma ye ho toye. No mo from who the academicians ni mum no o ma ye ho kire ye. Now ladies and gentlemen, this conversation I see having a year with a broader mind. And it's saying, say NDC FLE na nubi na say Kufuado so baba be ye ni dia. Then we expect to say a Kufuado's governance no on fa no compare NDC aban no a ususu say wabon no. At least so be a bon. Na say me say bad dia. It means I have to do more better than the person. The moment I may compare my governance to the Onipana Mr. Wabono, it means I've already failed. Yes, I have failed. And untina, I am one say MPP for Koso more Kase, NDC Boka, into a normal so Monso Bababoka. Ladies and gentlemen, and Tasum. Now you see, other than ye demonstration I koso. I have told you, me catch them from last 2 weeks, me catch them last 3 weeks. MPP in opposition, this is how they operate. They did it same to Kwame Nkrumah. And into me banner me too for me say, do not take for granted the achievements, any the progress John Dramani Mahama, any the ministers, the cabinet ministers, the appointees, no. Successes omo enya, because years ago we did same to Kwame Nkrumah and in kwasiafo bi sebio no madwene wo fom ebetu na memu no etugu ye, because they thought to say amemu no ye fo. That is MPP for you. MPP in opposition, they are the loudest, but when it comes to governance, omo ye din, cause omo ntimi for failing anything. Why are they doing these demonstrations? Buga buga. Sa na omotie. Ghana abakwasem on the continent of Africa. Open nipa omudi nkan to paye bomb to attack politicians. A MPP, UP tradition. To bomb from the year 50s. Mani be do 60s against Kwame Nkrumah. Almost society. Now these same people, no, funny enough, when they come, a friend is saying, when they come, ebetina akonya so a onim de omoye ntimi nye bibi ebo o man Ghana, then they result in change of names, renaming. Itubom say Kwame Nkrumah building ye Temahabo, and now Kwame Nkrumah building ye Temamotowe, then they want to rename it after Womo Papanamo, Omo Nanano, Omo Mame Bob Brano. It you the area Kufuado, or better now so renaming Ghana Fue Japadi. O atopano we mbubi. Obi ebu atopano wa hye oba momuni beden. O momuni bra. Na betu bedin. It does not happen. It doesn't happen. But MPP will make you believe say AC. That is MPP for you. And I am not surprised seeing demonstrations, party members ayetu omuka yamu musika so mombra no be demonstrate. I am not surprised because an MPP tie. Unnim omu a ana de omu ye cocoa farmers demonstration mu ye be o say bibi. We no munye hu hwie o. So want to to bomb. Kwame Nkrumah time want to to bomb. Ti we de normal ma MPP say ye fa placards na ye dede. Ye dede. Oh MPP. MPP for say cocoa farmers for watch on. So my billboard. Now be on watching no kwa billboard. Omo watching woman no kwa billboards. And the kwahwe Ghana enkran mountain so ubehu no billboards are MPP for na ye cocoa farmers for ye mama people ebi na wo me ase. Cocoa farmers omo watching my billboards. So omo suffer, we are suffering. Na me bisa common de wa utimi tue sika command confo utimi publishers command a friend is a graphic designers ma utimi command a friend is a billboards metal workers so please yema ya adwene mu enda ho na yehunu the MPP no NDC you are lucky omo to bomb. That is good news. In Nkrumah time omo to bomb Kulungungu bombing Bebre. One of my videos on YouTube, me show how the many times MPP for attack Kwame Nkrumah use bomb ekunkum Ghana for nkran nkete. Unless you don't know. But when you will not pay heed to the MPP. Remember, you put up a strong defense. That omoye an eye, also be an eye for an eye. Omoye a tooth, also be a tooth for a tooth. Period. Because MPP, if you don't face them with all your strength and your might, now they will destroy the nation Ghana. Because they don't believe in Ghanaians. They have never believed in the people of Ghana. Never, ever. And I'm not saying it just because me tie MPP. When Nkrumah said that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs, the MPP forecast said there be. So they have the inferiority complexes, low self-esteem. That is the MPP for you. So give them 100 years. They will never ever be able to build the nation Ghana with the people. Because if you don't believe in somebody, how can you benefit from the people that you don't believe? How can you build a nation with people? Can two work together unless they agree? So if we have to work together, we must agree in building the nation. But they don't believe in building the nation. And in they number one aim is let's steal from the people and then deposit the money in a brochure. Let's steal from the people. And that is the MPP for you. You see, sometimes when you see people, governance, it is not easy, it is difficult. These are fools. Anybody will tell you, say, governance of Ghana is difficult and we cannot build Ghana. It's a fool. It's a thief. And it's a wicked person. And I'll tell you today, through my conversation, and I know what I have. Now, My topic, very simple. Why is Ghana still poor despite gold, cocoa, and oil? Can Ghana learn from China's economic growth? Listen, for 50 years, 50 years ago, everybody on this surface of the earth, say Chinese people were the most poorest in the world. 50 years ago, they were poor to the extent to say, not ni patrimhi, no medi. And there are videos there. You can research it, you can find out on YouTube. Chinese people no mudi ni patrimhi. Chinese people not accommodate one to the extent to say no omudi bibia, including dead bodies. Oh yes. Now almost per capita GDP at the time was only $194. Yes. Chinese people have gone through a year suffering, extreme poverty. They suffered from civil wars. They suffered from foreign invasions. They suffered from many things, famine. Oh, you name it. But you see, how did China took 800 million people out of poverty? How come? So the Chinese people were able to take 800 million people out of abject poverty, extreme difficulties, extreme poverty. They are very simple. 1978, they had a young man, they had a young leader, an old man. Sorry, only old, sir, but he was, young. No, young that, but he was a bit, I think he was in his 50s or so. Not that young. Anyway, 50, them years they were young, sir. But the American said, Omunya leader be a friend of Deng Xiaoping. Ne tintin nyina ene ne kɛseɛ nyinaa ɛte sɛ Akufo-Addo. Anaasɛ ɔsɛkyɛ Mensah Bonsu. Ade nso Akufo-Addo wasen ɔsɛkyɛ Mensah Bonsu kakraa bi. Omu nyinaa tintin bɛyɛ pɛ. Either sɛ Akufo-Addo wasen ɔsɛkyɛ Mensah Bonsu. Omu nyinaa yɛ short as dwarfs. That was the leader at China for in 1978. The din Deng Xiaoping. At the end of the year, Deng Xiaoping rolling out a series of economic and social reforms. Olanchi, these social reforms, these economic reforms, and open them the Chinese market to the world. And yet, including farming. And your money be here and say, Obomodia migrating millions of people from remote areas and are building new towns, new, a friend is saying, cities, new, a friend is saying, villages. No, for fun, for the call. That was Deng Xiaoping. This man, the tinting na to say Akufo-Addo. In fact, ebi kra Akufo-Addo kra be was saying. So the entire make sure say enye ni patenting and wonim nyansa na ni tietie no, and the people who have the will to change and develop the nation Ghana. Now, Ofa Deng Xiaoping, he invested massively in public services. Enye de ehunu no Ghana no. He mobilized the entire nation and gave them a sense of belief that yes, the Chinese people can build China. Now, you see, what about Ghana? The topic, never see it didn't come up. Maybe say, why is Ghana still poor? Despite gold, oil, cocoa, manganese. Why? You were gold, you were oil, you were cocoa. So why are we still struggling with poverty? Why? Unimansa no comment section or contribute. Now, how come say we've not focused on the solution? But we always focus on the problem. And we also make sure say anytime you're being komo biano, yet we can say obroni ni de otimi ye. But I don't think you can say tuntum ni sunsu obetimi aye. Because fa obroni no a na wo fa tuntum no a sebio ye nyina na ye pa ye mu a nioma egugu ye nyina mu na no abi ne be hu obroni mu ti de nti na broni ni timi ye na ye de ye ntimi enye somebody took 800 million people out of poverty. Uko kan Ghana beka cho Ghana for beka cho say oh ade ne de adin o na nka wo kra untimi nya hwe eye kwase asu enye nipa nyina na esu saa because se obi to say Deng Xiaoping took 800 million people out of abject poverty, extreme poverty. Now, Ghana, your population is less than 40 million. They are. Then please, let nobody lie to you, say, we cannot end poverty. Let no human being lie to you, say, we cannot end poverty. We can end poverty. But you see, the problem is, say, we keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different results from the politicians. Since the days of Kwame Nkrumah free one, including the military leaders, no. But to do one, keep repeating the same thing. And you say they keep exporting the raw materials. The corruption so high debt. And in Tibon said there's a lot of youth unemployment. Because you see, if you want to build a nation, one of the things are the natural resources. Aside the human resources, no, you also have to have the natural resources. Now, the natural resources, no, and idea ebetimi abuwa amawa de wetumpo. But the question is, for many years, how come say Ghana intimi tumpo? Ladies and gentlemen, how come? You see, I want us to have this conversation because greetings, my sister Noble. We have a nation to fix. We have a nation to build. But are we ready to build a nation? Are we ready as a people? Buy and sell as a nation and your development. When you buy items and you resell them, you sell them, and you're building a nation. Oh no. Building a nation is where we add value. Whenever we add value to the natural resources, that is when we build a nation. So how come we are not building the nation? If I ask you as a Ghanaian, say, how many scientists are we going to produce in the next 10 years or 20 years? How many engineers are we producing? How many plumbers, carpenters are we producing? Ibisa, do you know? I see. Let me tell you something different. Other countries be abuawo. And we remember be reading comments maybe. Because I've seen some interesting a friend is saying comments. I am not the alpha and omega of wisdom and knowledge. Never. Far from it. A lot of people watching me are very fantastic and brilliant. About saying a country bit is Vietnam after 1975, they were bombed to the ground. Omutimi rebuilding Vietnam. About saying a country bit is Singapore a building. About saying a Malaysia, Korea, North Korea, South Korea, Omutimi build omukro. You see, we as Nipa Tuntumuno, we always like to look outside. We like the copy without having the understanding of what we are copying. We don't even look to the solution as to whether the solution will solve the problems of our people. In Tiakinkai Adam Smith book for how many years? How come say and transform me and call for? Because Yankofo ni sunu omu sunu ye different from the Yakwakosunya to solve their own problems. Where are the researchers to research? To let us know that this is the issue and the problem, and these are the solutions to face the problems. Where are they? What a politician think is V8. All that they are thinking is let's go and import more cars, because the more we import, somebody will get their 10% somewhere. Oh, Dr. Ren, we need, a friend is saying, inspecting officers to go round to inspect cocoa. A friend is saying, farms. No, so please, we need those things. So we will spend more money to go and what? Import. A friend said Toyota pickups, and then making sure import. We are what? Helping the economy of Japan, and we are not helping the economy of Ghana. How can we change that narrative? These are the questions. But must we always dwell on the questions? Once we ask the question, let's look for solutions within Ghana. Because Yaya Bida, and we can do it. We did it under Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. We did it. We built Tema Township. In fact, now when by UK go to Tema Township. That is how UK was built. UK dining at Tema Township. Kaiser Flat in Community 4. That is how UK built their flats. Even their houses, they said they all Community 2, Community 3, Community 5. Well, that is how they build their houses. But how come a country like Ghana, we import iron rods from Abrochiri, when we have the basalt rocks in the Volta region, when we have many rocks in the northern part of Ghana? So why are we importing all these things? Because we have failed to add knowledge to the natural resources we have. Why must Ghanaians sleep? We have about over almost 120,000 Ghanaians sleeping outside in the capital city, the Dabontini. Yet we have the bamboo, we have the wood, we have the timber, we have the bauxite. We have the wood, we have the sapele, odum, wawa. Why are our people still sleeping outside? Must it always be about block building? When you go to America, with all respect to our brothers and sisters that live in America, they live in wooden houses. But people live in wooden houses and they feel comfortable. So why are we always, must it always be about brick and mortar or block and mortar? These are the things that we need to start thinking to solve the problems of the nation. Now, come with me, because we have to have a conversation today. We have a conversation. Is there any hope? Do you think there is hope? For now, let me pause a little bit and read some of your questions. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not followed me or subscribed to my YouTube channel, it is free. Go on there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's build a family together. I believe that we can all build. I believe that together we can build a nation, Ghana. This is my belief. I believe strongly. Now, let me read some of the comments here. Coming all the way. Comments and so also. Was say Fred Tego say that is true, Dr. Ren. Good day, greetings from Texas. Dr. Bernard Yabo, I greet you, sir. Honestly, regarding the cocoa crisis, our leaders should have anticipated the crisis decades ago. The world is changing. We need to get ahead of this by processing our biggest revenue, which is cocoa. That is so true. Edwin and Michelle, yes, Stephen Michiamo. Let's see. Oh, Zigma, all right, Zigma say we are unserious and unready. Or say all that you are saying is the symptoms. The real problem is the power structure of governance. And also Isaac Diaudeba, thank you. I'll say champion, the patriotic man. That's say. I say Ghana has had about 60 years to think differently about raw materials like cocoa. Like by now, we should have advanced ways of cocoa usage, not just for the consumption. Where are the PhD holders who will research and tell us? Greetings, Alexander Onosudia, Onoso Edibai, Noble, Michiamo, and all the other ones of here. Fimo, coming or say, just only the Osun. And you see atata no and easy. I say how many mining engineers that you train every year? That is a good question. How many mining engineers? We are training TikTokers. Hey, China, South Korea, look at their power structure. The power structure enables long-term planning. And that was what Nkrumah wanted to consolidate. That is true. Repeating the same thing over and over and expecting different results is insanity. Albert Einstein. Daniel Fori Michel. Abusia. Enkomona Ede. Era Ekuya Noble. Greetings. Ladies and gentlemen. Mentwaso. Tizo. Or see, Africa will always remain Africa because of our poor attitude and archaic mindset. What a rule. So for him there, until the bones are rotting, Yesumano Sisa, hey, Radin Coupon, Omuyamobo. Well, let me continue the conversation. If there is anything, if there is a hope. You see, I believe, said, Vora, greetings. Just like Dr. Bernard Kaya, we need to industrialize the cocoa and gold. Oh, yes. How can we industrialize the gold and the cocoa? I heard Sam Jonah talk about, say, people are upset because he couldn't build Obuasi like Johannesburg. He tried to explain. He gave an explanation, saying, oh, Johannesburg there. Gold ni na the citizens lonsa. Into omu timi build womu crew. But oba Ghana no ena enshayensa. And he explained and I feel you see under Kutu Champon from the 70s to 1979. Ghana had over 55% in all the gold, all the mineral resources are mining of Ghana. But if you think about it, around that same time, Anna Sam Jonah, Enemua or the Bayo Penini, or Anglo Gold Ashanti. So how come say he could not help build? You see, anytime you be an blame and for, with the exception of blaming us, ourselves, the leaders, building Ghana is something I bit me. But it's just because we have not paid attention. Like one of our brothers was saying about the structure, how we can build. We always assume Ghana sanity. We assume things. We don't like to be practical. We don't like to solve the problem. Because once you solve the problem, Nkofo Bebre Noah becomes upset. Do you know why? Because many of these people are lazy thinkers. They don't want to work. They like the easy way. So you see the ministers and the MPs, they will be importing rice and they will be telling Ghanaians, we need to stop eating imported rice. The same leaders will tell the people that we spend almost $400 million to import rice. But the same people have the power. And then almost sign Emira to ban importation of rice. Let's say 80% importation of rice. And say the 20%, we've given some people. We will assess them and then we will help them import 20% of rice. But as for the 80%, we must grow it in Ghana, package it in Ghana, eat it to support our local economy. If we really mean to fix the nation's problem, we must be prepared to take bold decisions. Yes, many people will not be happy, but we have to take the decision. It's like saying you want to dualize, I hear a friend say, the roads system. Some will not be happy, but we have to build. Building Akosombo Dam, many people were not happy. But in the end, we have what? Help solve problems. But is our leaders ready? Are they really ready? Or is just all talk every day? Because industrialization means that we need to add value. Bonsa tie, a typical example. Yedia rabano. Na yankasi yate rabano. Na emunsiu no. Yedia go through a process. Ni yedia car cover. Send ye car ties. After Seri not esi o ama assemble o moka no maba beto Ghana ye car ties. Now let me tell you how the bonsa tie a free Ghana answer. Around the time I near war bonsa ties no. Na company be the Michelin ties. Michelin wanted to make inroads in Ghana. Only the Michelin here. Michelin went as far as La Côte d'Ivoire. And they bribed the leader of La Côte d'Ivoire, Félix Houphouët-Boigny, and told him, we are giving you this amount of money. Do everything possible and buy the bonsa tie in Ghana. And when you buy it, don't operate. But make sure you what? Assemble plants for Michelin in La Côte d'Ivoire so that Ghanaians will come and buy car ties from you. I'm trying to tell you how desperate the Akwesi Abronino can be if they want something. We must understand that in this world, not everybody will love us as a people. Yes, Ghana has enemies. Oh, we have a lot of enemies who do not want to see us prosper, including ourselves. Since the days of John the Baptist, or say the kingdom of God suffered violence, and the violent took it by force. So if we are going to build Ghana, we must come up with strong decisions, and we must implement those decisions. One that will build, not to destroy. See, bonsa tie. Ghana still has the capacity, but Why ne betimi aboaye? John Mahama say his mentor, any Kwame Nkrumah, the only thing John Mahama can do to honor his mentor is to break the record of Kwame Nkrumah. That is the only achievement. And remember Kwame Nkrumah, I am happy. Not just saying he is my mentor, he is my mentor. No. Because Nkrumah want to see Ghanaians prosper. Whether you are from Binduri, Yoyo, whether you come from Ayeboko, whether you come from Bolegatanga, or you come from Aveyime, or you come from Kikam, my very hometown where my father was born and bred. He wants to see us prosper. So enough of the talk, and let's put actions and build our nation. Look at Ghana. Every region in Ghana is a blessed region. Why don't we concentrate on the best from each and every region and add value? Why don't we? For example, if you go to Volta region, why don't we come up with the best thing in Volta region? Concentrate on it and create factories and employ the youth. Go to Takoradi, Western region. Why don't we discover the good things, the natural resources, add value and create employment for the people of Western region? The same thing in Ashanti region. When we were growing up in Ashanti region, Obuasi, oh, God bless my father wherever he is. A great man. He is my mentor in all my life. Those days we would drink orange juice. Hey! Obuasi and Kawo, doko doko. At that time, they have not destroyed the lands with cyanide and mercury. Organic orange. And today, chemicals nurses and namasas edidi assassinase asay assassin. Udia and kano cry and what said the first na airborne. What happened? When in 1950 to 1952, Nkrumah declared that we should not go into anything called surface mining because we would destroy our lands. And that if any person is serious into so mining there, and so called into what underground mining with his heavy machines, go deeper under the ground and go and mine, not on the surface of the land. Because it is easy for you to just destroy a friend is saying, yes, farmers no woman no buy and they will be poisonous and it will affect us. But look at the politicians today. Under Jerry John Rawlings, Sam Jonah, through his lackadaisical thinking and myopic mind, that Jerry John Rawlings and was signed surface mining into law. That Ghanaians can go in and go and mine even closer to the rivers. Today, see the disadvantage. Look at the effects of many kidney and liver failures. All because we are drinking from a polluted rivers made up of cyanide and mercury that can destroy our minds and our bodies. Nkrumah said, no way, surface mining. Leaders that think will ask and find out, what can we do? Rihanna is one of the billionaires in this world. Rihanna. You can Google and check. No, she did not make money because she sings. No. It's because she has a beauty, whatever lineup of cosmetics and whatever, eyelashes, what the women call it, facial, these are all clay. Not a cocoa, go through process. And a man would bobo money. And Nkrumah told us in 1952 about what today a man use so many bobo money. That even the soil in Ghana will become more important for export when we add value. Zygma said the cost to kill all these man-made distractions. We are in search of money, but we are killing ourselves. So when we get the money, how are we going to spend the money? to cure our sickness. Does it make sense? When we could drink organic fruit juice. Because lack of knowledge, my people perish. The meaning of knowledge simply means information. If you don't have it, you will struggle. If you don't have it, water will flow from your backyard and you'll be complaining, I'm thirsty. And it is very sad. Go to the northern region. Tomatoes. Let me read something beautiful from our sister. And she wrote something very, very nice. And I think that permit me to just read it out loud. And according to her, she says, red gold to lost opportunities. Why Ghana must reclaim the tomato value chain, by Rebecca Yakubu Akatwe. I hope I pronounced the surname correct. Doctor, PhD. Now, she says, Ghana's agricultural history is defined by a bitter irony. Now, this is more interesting. Come along. Because the reason why I say interesting is she's coming to say something here. And she says, in the 1970s, I didn't even know. He said the Upper East region was the heartbeat of West African tomato production. Driven by the Tono Irrigation Project, that one I know, and sustained by Polugu Tomato Factory. According to her, Navrongo, therefore, was a thriving commercial hub of tomatoes, where industrialization seemed not just possible, but inevitable. Today, the narrative has shifted. The red gold that once flowed from our fields into our factories now largely flows across our borders, but in the wrong direction. Now she says that the great reversal in the 1970s, the Po Ouagadougou corridor in Burkina Faso served as a supplementary source for Ghana. Burkina-based farmers would travel to Paga and Navrongo to sell their produce to Ghanaian agents. We possessed the infrastructure. They provided the surplus. That was then. Oh, Charlie. She continued. However, as the Tono irrigation system fell into a disrepair and the Polugu factory fell silent due to decades of mismanagement, the power dynamic shifted. Our market women, the backbone of the vegetable trade, were transformed into Burkina queens, forced to trek deep into the neighboring territories to secure a very produce we are perfectly capable of growing at home. Lessons from our neighbors. And she talked about the authorities in Burkina Faso recognized that we overlooked the strategic health and economic benefit of the tomato by establishing their own processing plants and securing their supply chains. They have turned a seasonal crop into a national asset. As a result, tomatoes have become scarce along a traditional Po Ouaga corridor, forcing Ghanaian traders to venture further north at a great personal and financial risk. We are all effectively subsidizing our neighbors' industrial growth while our own fields lie fallow. And she gives us the roadmap and talks about what we can do. And this is what she has to say. The collapse of our tomato industry was not an accident of nature. It was a failure of management. Consequently, it is a failure that can be rectified. To reverse this trend, we must commit to non-negotiable pillars. 1, modernize irrigation. We cannot rely on the whims of the weather. In Ghana, the sense you try, rehabilitation tunnel project and expanding irrigation across the northern and southern belts is the only way to ensure year-round cultivation of high yields varieties. Strategic industrialization. We must revamp our processing factories, not just in the north, but strategically across the south to produce guaranteed markets for farmers. This creates a circular economy that retains profit within our borders. The tomato crisis is a wake-up call. We have the land, the labor, and the history. What we need now is the political will to ensure that the next generation of Ghana traders does not have to cross borders and find what should be flourishing in their own backyards. Let me read some of the comment section. The Pari Portia, good evening. I mean, some of the comments. Mensa Isaac, this our leaders have no vision for Ghana. And will say, you kept quiet because your party came, but them all Mumu, MPP and NDC. This comment I keep getting. But you see, when you insult that the two political parties are Mumu, that is your own choice. I will not begrudge you. But what have you done to make sure that this MPP and NDC that you claim are Mumu keep governing us? Because at the end of the day, go and look at the structure. The so-called people that claim themselves to be CPP, Cheddar, and all these people are being sponsored by the same MPP and NDC. Or you don't know. Do your research and come back later. Daniel Melton Jr. Philosophy of sports science and arts. I say, make an African nation lift 2026 World Cup on American soil on Sunday. Okay, anyway, let's go into the other ones. Isaac, I'll say this is if this power structure is implemented via the constitutional review, Ghana can easily industrialize within 7 election cycles of a year of 49 years, as China used almost a year. A friend is saying the same number of years to industrialize. So at 69, we have to think outside of the box. I think that we should even carry the box and even think with all the box. Anyway, I understand you. The bottom line is the country is not serious and not ready. Oh, so sad. Ghana should give President John Mahama third term to develop our nation. All right. The conversation of third term. I know. An interesting conversation, isn't it? Anyway. Now, what are we talking about? Let's go into this. We had people who came and told us that they have fixed a Paul Lugu. You remember Bawumia telling Ghanaians, when it comes to the Paul Lugu Dam, Oma fix it, Oma solve it. They spend tens of millions of dollars. In the end, some people have chopped money. They chop the money, basa. No wonder say because of the Paul Lugu, Bawumia always Yoko invited. Oh yes, Bawumia. Oni Napo Diana has to do with education, and a year friend is saying in the energy sector. And Bawumia Diana Paul Lugu Dam and a PDS sense. One day we'll go into it deeper. But yet these Chinese people are some more kind.
In 1981, 88% of Chinese people lived in extreme poverty. That's 878 million people. By 2020, that number hit 0. How did they do it? This is the largest poverty reduction in human history, and most people have no idea how it happened. When China opened up in 1978, nearly 9 out of 10 people were desperately poor, living on less than $2 a day. Rural villages with no electricity, no roads, no opportunity. The government made poverty elimination a national mission, not a goal, a requirement. They started with special economic zones, Shenzhen, Shanghai, coastal cities that could trade with the world. Factories opened, jobs appeared. Hundreds of millions of rural workers moved to cities for manufacturing jobs. This was phase one, economic growth. From 1981 to 2012, 753 million people escaped poverty through industrialization and urbanization. But that left 100 million people behind. The hardest cases, remote villages, disabled people, ethnic minorities in mountain regions. In 2013, President Xi Jinping launched targeted poverty alleviation, not general economic policy, specific intervention for every poor household. They sent 3 million officials to poor villages, each official responsible for specific families. If those families didn't escape poverty, the official failed. The government built roads to villages that never had them, installed electricity, ran water lines, connected remote areas to the national grid. They relocated 9.6 million people from uninhabitable regions, gave them new homes, new jobs, new lives. They identified why each household was poor. Lack of education, build schools, no jobs, create industries, medical debt, provide health care, customized solutions for 100 million people. The government spent 1.6 trillion yuan. That's $246 billion over 8 years. Local governments were evaluated on poverty reduction. Miss your targets and your career is over. By February 2021, China declared victory. All 832 poor counties lifted out of poverty, all 128,000 villages, all 98.99 million rural people. The World Bank confirmed it. The UN praised it. This wasn't propaganda. This was measurable, verifiable poverty elimination. No other country has ever done this. Not at this scale. Not this fast. India still has over 200 million people in extreme poverty. Sub-Saharan Africa has over 400 million. China went from 878 million to 0 in 40 years. The method was simple. Massive investment, government accountability, customized intervention, and treating poverty elimination like a war that had to be won. What's the most impressive government achievement you...
So, this is what China people are here. Now, Isaac said China is one-party state. So, developmental strategies, policies can have a long term. I don't think say Ghana by force must be a one-party state to develop. Because we have countries saying a one-party state that will develop it. Example, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, United States of America, Great Britain. So I don't think about the one-party state. What you say? Because your countries are all developed. Japan was bombed to the ground, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, but they built Japan. As a matter of fact, history, Japan went as far as taking some part of China, dominating, colonizing. I don't think the colonization is the best word. But today, look at Japan. So it's not about the one-party state. I know you are giving me fantastic, a friend is saying, submissions. But it's far from the one-party state. Now, I think that the educational structure as a nation, holistically, we need to look at it. I don't think a form of education where every region be a Ghana biano. We will give a knowledge value addition based on the natural resources. Because it is the natural resources when we add value. That's where we export and get money. We already have the human resource. Into our gold, no. Why don't we educate our people from the early age? Adintra. From the early age. Why should we wait for the person to become 26, 27, 30, 35, and the usages of gold? Ade. From the very young age. Yes. To himself, value addition of cocoa, no, you bet me process your chocolate. What not a crassy one? Yeah, channel value addition. Oh, we are the Baba Yajuma. Because in life, you cannot be a jack of all trade. You will become a master of none. So why don't we become more specific? Train our people. Yes. That's the thing. Add value. Knowledge base. Because curriculum now, yes, in the end, you either become a medical doctor, an engineer, a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. You become a plumber, a carpenter, a mason, a barber, a hairdresser. So why don't we give the people the skills? Rather than say, become merry-go-round to confuse the people. Yes, I know general education is good. So what is the problem? ABM, fight corruption seriously. Yes, whether the person is from your nuclear family or extended family. A thief is a thief. And the thief must face punishment. Oh, yes. Because if we are building a nation, why should Ken Ofori-Atta steal from the millions of Ghanaians what belongs to every Ghanaian? How come Senipa Bako, ye manifa Adia Bako? Ade. Na nipa Bako ria Ghana fo nyina ye shebre. Oria ye no nso a o de akotena America Detention Center. Omre fie nso a lalai omma. What is the problem? We must punish corrupt people so that others will be afraid to even venture into that corruption. Now, we have youthful youth. Ghana, no, your youth, no, 69% or so. Ghanaians are youth, are in the youth bracket. So we have to invest in youth skills. Yeah, youth skills. We must invest in the youth skills. The devil finds works for the idle hands. That is the more reason why the boys and girls are engaging this kind of a friend is saying red, and in Nubone, Tramor. Because guess what? We've not engaged them. Farming. China, a chance. The hierarchy of needs. Maslow. Food, clothing, and shelter. So food alone, a multi-billion industry. And adding value, a creation of industries, companies. Let me give you an example. Orange juice. It is not the orange juice that one, the farmer will get paid. 2, the driver, what transporting orange, to the warehouse workers, cleaners, caterers, workers. These are jobs, ladies and gentlemen. Esansuma and vitamin C, good for the body. So why are we not building these factories and companies? Ghana is a Christian country, but everywhere you go is advert of appetition. Not orange juice, not watermelon factories, not pineapple juice. Yes, we have a confit pineapple, but it's not enough. Coconut juice. All these things. Ubabruche now no artificial coconut drink. Added additives. And so they still believe it's organic. Why don't we add value to what we have? Because that is where the money is. Why are we waiting for IMF? You do the crime, you do the time. I love it. That's what we tell people who are corrupt, people who engage in crime. So, ladies and gentlemen, why don't we support small businesses to say orange juice, your Volta Regional Gary Processing Factory? We have people who are fighting. We supply them. As a matter of fact, Ghanaians should be thinking about building companies and factories that we can supply the continent of Africa. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. We can. We can have billionaires on the continent of Ghana, billionaires a free Ghana. Having companies in Sierra Leone, Liberia, Niger. Yeah, to 2 years new year. Yeah, factories near company no. Ebe nyini amoma expande. Atre wo mushiem other places, other countries. Said ya UK ni company need to me ba Ghana no. Said ya Coca-Cola ewo bebia no. Nestle bebia. So why can't we do? I see. And your man will eat me a bit me a stable economy. If you have a stable economic, a friend is a policy, sir. A bit me a boy. But the question is, why never? This lackadaisical attitude of not punishing people. And what? This attitude of not solving the real problem. No, we see a prapreni, and what? In the end, who suffers? The Ghanaian will suffer in Libya. The Ghanaian will suffer in America, suffer in even Europe, Chromo suffer. Then how much more on the continent of Africa? We need to make sure so we will build a country where the dignity of the Ghanaian will be restored. Our forefathers gave us a friend is a befitting, a friend is saying legacy. But what do we see today? Ladies and gentlemen, let me read 1 or 2 comments. Dr. Ren, let me read 1 or 2. Papagana, Hanamo, Papagana. Let's go. Namin Kinkai. Said, Dr. Ren, if we don't have resources, then what do we have as a nation? That is Ora Henry Hansen. Then my senior from Adisada College. Ora Philip Kojo Jan Boedu. Or say, I will summarize this for you. The money Kenoforiata, Bawumia, and MPP wasted, divided by 30 million, everyone in Ghana will get out of poverty. Uraben. See, 4 more JM simple because we were deceived. We were seriously deceived and organized, lied to from north to south by the MPP. JM's next term is rather the actual second term and legitimate and sensible, unopposed for nation building. And sensible people would unopposed and sensible, unopposed for nation building. Okay, I mean, Dr. Ren, we are our own enemy. This is coming from Vora. All that you are saying and that is of other suggestions is great. It is the government that starts implementation. Change. We stand against them. What do we want done? It is funny how we say our packaging is poor. Are we looking for excellent packaging or quality of the product? We are our own enemies. Oh, so Bawumia goes to Yoko. Oh, yes, he goes to Yoko. Oh, he goes in the evening. Yes, quietly. Yeah, Bawumia. The same way Napo goes to Yoko. Napo Ameka, a lot of people don't know. January, February, March, April. I think somewhere May, June, I told Ghanaians that there's a lot of people on where you quiet too. Oh, yes, a lot. Just that bebrina anything. Even were CEOs, MMDCs. Oh yeah. Korea Japan is dealing with them. Oh yeah. Now, he said punishment is just political vendetta from each side. That is true. It has become a political vendetta. I am saying let's get the governance structure right, and all of the others will follow. Zigma, see, you do the crime, you do the time. Asabri, we have to fight. For GM, let me say my team here. Ochre, I say, Akufo Addo and Bawumia needs to be jailed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and a session, a evening session, but me person me di we see what I say. You see, let me say this. Ghana's future is not our gold. Ghana's future is not our gold. I'm sure because, Dr. Ren, what are you saying? Blah, blah, blah. Ghana's future is not our gold. Ghana's future is in our mindset. The real question is not, can Ghana end poverty? I see, the real question is, are we ready to change for a prosperous nation where we can have trains from the south to the north, where we can have planes that the ordinary Ghanaian can just buy tickets and travel from the north to the south, where we can have good roads, whether urban roads, feeder roads, highways, whatever, expressways. The change begins with the mindset. For everything you see around on this earth, if it is not God-made, they were all made by human beings. Are we ready to add value to the natural resources, to become great and mighty? Are we ready that when the Ghanaian holds his passport, he or she will be proud, not because of anything, but he or she will be proud that Ghana is a prosperous nation and that we have eradicated poverty in our country, Ghana? Yes, it can be done. If we can talk about solutions and do away ethnic jingoism, do away the so-called religious foolishness, and concentrate that the brother from the eastern region, the brother from the Volta region, even though we don't come from the same region, he or she is my own brother. Are we ready to punish the thieves who deny us good roads? Not just because He comes from the opposition political party. Are we ready to punish? Captain Sabah Tooth. As a Nigerian, I weep inside me what our leaders are doing to keep our countries poor, stagnated, impoverished, backward. Oh, my brother, my good brother from Nigeria, it is sad. With all the human resource and the natural resource, yet we go begging for crumbs when we can create and build. On the whole continent, we gather and we march our ministers, we march our president to go and meet a tiny country like United Kingdom. It is as the land size of UK is as equally the land size of Ghana. They are just the same. Maybe UK will be just a little bit bigger than Ghana, but just not too big. But yet we will match all the president just to go and kiss the hands of King Charles. They don't have what we have. It is the mindset. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, yes, Africa can develop. I believe Ghana can develop. And let no man lie to you that it is impossible. If Deng Xiaoping can take 800 million plus people out of poverty, then it means our leaders are giving us excuses. Oh yes. Enough of the excuses. They must fix the country for us. In 1980, 81, 82, the Chinese people, they were banned from giving birth to more than one child. They had to go through the pains. People who wished to have 4 or 5 children were told to have only one. It was because they wanted to build a nation. And that everybody had to sacrifice. Though painful, it paid off dearly. Today, the almighty America is even afraid of China. When China coughs, America asks questions. What is the meaning of this cough? We must find meaning. If not, just like Napoleon Bonaparte said, allow the Chinese people to sleep. Allow the Asian tigers to sleep. For if they wake up, we cannot contain them. When is Africa going to wake up? When is Africa going to build and not to destroy? When are we also going to sit at the dinner table so that others will eat at our feet? When? When are we going to say we are not just giant of Africa, Nigeria, but rather we are giant in industrialization, giant in eradicating poverty, giant in technology? When? My name, of course, is Papa Ghana. I came your way to share my own opinion and also to read some of the good suggestions from our dear brothers and sisters. Let's build a family. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit on the notification button so that anytime I come live, we can all have a conversation. God bless our homeland, Ghana. God bless Africa with knowledge, understanding. That, yea, we can also build our nation. So help us, God. Amen, and have a great week.